Hello, this is Vulturefire, and today's video I am doing a deck that is not mine. It is a deck that is run by a user named Chris in the Discord, and he mentioned that he would be interested in seeing me do a run with this, and he is probably watching, so hello. And yeah, so I haven't actually looked at the deck yet. I'm just clicking through market real quick so I don't forget. We probably don't need more max health. We'll take the reroll. Max mana is, we'll take it. There's probably stuff that'll work with it, and max shield is always good. Okay, so the starting deck. The first thing that stands out is that we only have 3 proper mana cards. Okay, this is a pretty expensive deck for only 3 proper mana cards. That's interesting. Because we have Chilling Focus, we have Distill Elements, we have Mana Jolt, and then like Unstable Bolt can technically make 1 mana. When it triggers mana boost, but that's not much. So our only source of mana boost, it looks like, is the mana jolt. It looks like we do not have a meditate. So our only sources of, oh, we do have Visions of Frost to get adept from. We are playing Raodan, so evading is kind of going to be our main way of dealing with, or not evading, freezing is our main way of avoiding incoming damage. But that's kind of interesting that we don't have. So Electrocute and Unstable Bolt in the same deck are interesting because like Unstable Bolt is a terrible use of the shock. So that's something we're going to have to play around. Scatter Beam is okay on this patch. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't played it yet, so we'll see. So we've got Glacial Bulwark, which I don't hate with the Distill Elements. I do think it is interesting that we went with that over Frozen Hide. Although I know like fitting all the things you want into the deck, it can be tricky. So our damage is Pierce and Scattered Beam and Ice Blast. Because we don't have any, I tend to run like 1 or 2 arcane sources, and that is not something that is a feature of this particular list. So looking at the pool, we have Spry Vigor, which is always always good. So we've got 3 good epic mana cards. Let's look at our other epic. So Blood Visions. I tend to be leery of using it, but it is absolutely a solid card worth using. Love Mystical Bloom. We have Sanctity. We do not have Arcane Silence, though. That's interesting. I think I would generally, on Raodan, prefer the Arcane Silence over the Aether Storm, because they do comparable damage, but this will get us a bunch of growth, and the cleanse is just always so important. Elemental Conflux is fine. It's kind of expensive, but Raodan can usually afford things, although we might have problems with mana, but we do have a lot of good epic mana cards, so once we get rolling, we should be fine. And then Singularity also obviously is something we are only taking if we have the mana for it. Last Resort, Surprise Attack. So Last Resort is a card that like I tend to be... So now that it is 0 mana, I'm probably underrating it. It is a free way functionally to draw cards, so that's probably pretty good. We have Surprise Attack. We have Unstable Focus, which triggers mana boost up to 3 times, which is still... How many other mana boost cards do we have here? So we've got the Unstable Focus, but our only source of mana boost is the 1 Mana Jolt in the starting deck. That seems suspect. I don't like that at all. Icy Chains is just good. Icy Concentration is good. I'm not a fan of Patient Focus. I would much rather have like a Precarious Drought here. Patient Focus tends to be, especially like in the card pool, I feel like it's going to be too hard to get 4 or 5 mana from it. And something like, where is it? Something like either like Runic Focus, which will give us 4 straight up, or Predator's Focus, or Precarious Drought. All of those would be my preference, I think. Distill Elements, because that's kind of the theme for the starting deck, so we could potentially take more. I also don't know how much I like this, having this in the card pool, although I tend to run 2 in the starting deck if that's something the deck cares about. Read the Ice is fine. Aether Blast, again, that's one that like seems a bit iffy in the card pool. Frozen Rift is great. Icy Orb is great. Voltaic Frost is pretty good. Unleash the Storm is pretty good. Sorcerer's Secretion, I don't know that this particular deck is a Sorcerer's Secretion deck. I'm not a huge fan of Shocking Blast. I would rather have, I think, Shocking Aura, especially with the Distill Elements type stuff. Scrying Blast, it's fine. It's kind of expensive, but it's not bad. I'm not a fan of Careful Shot. The deck doesn't have any way in the starting deck to generate critical, and so you're reliant entirely on items or finding... wow, are you entirely reliant on finding exactly... You're reliant on finding exactly surprise attack to line up with that. That seems very suspect. I don't like that. Mana Bolt's usually pretty good. Arcane Visions is a card that I keep putting in decks and then not finding space for. Intimidating Strike I'm not a huge fan of. Arcane Nova I do like though. The big things that stand out to me is that we are very reliant on this Sanctity. We don't have any Sanctuaries, we don't have any Cleansing Shields, we don't have Arcane Silence. Sanctuary is like the strongest card in the game right now. If you aren't planning to win on turn 1 or 2, I think you just should be running Sanctuary. It is just so incredibly powerful. But that is our list. We will see how it works in practice. And let's go. Yeah, Spyglass is just about impossible to pass up. So let's look at what we are dealing with here. Okay, this is pretty good. We can't get the Shock along with the Toughen. Those are kind of the two cards that I like most, but I really like Shocking Grasp. That is just the best Shock card we can get. And we have a chance at getting... Just looking at what our enemy choices are. Okay, so we've got 2 shots here at Arcane Aegis. Only a 1 in 6 here and a 1 in 4 here, but, you know, we'll take it. Alright. So, we do actually get the full setup with that. So, the reason I'm not a huge fan of Pierce is that it just is fairly slow to start out. That off, and then we can see if that kill. Okay, we can get mana back, but we don't have quite enough mana. Let's go and do that, and let's play that for the wits. Okay, so any damage we find here will end the fight. So went pretty well in the first fight. Arcane Nova I think is very, very good. And it's also sorry. Dropping things. It is also just very good with the Spyglass. So we'll take that evasion. I think our goal is to kill this one. So like I said, this Unstable Bolt, like if you don't have the man boost for it, that is just such an anemic card, especially since most of the things got buffed. All right, so we're gonna apply Shock there, so that when we Arcane Nova twice, we get bonus damage. I don't think we're quite going to get this kill. No, we get very close. But we are going to, unfortunately, take a little bit of damage here. And yeah, like if that Unstable Bolt was a better card, we would have had, if it did more than no damage, we would have had it. Get Mighty up. Yep. Get mana. Okay, so we can't play 2 things this turn. This is again where like the mana is kind of an issue, where it's like we have this handful of expensive stuff and we just can't play everything, which is frustrating. So our best bet I think is to do that, and then step damage there. And we need to play that so that we can get mana out of Distill Elements if we draw it. Oh, whoops. Didn't have enough. Whatever. Okay, that will be enough. And that would have given me actually the ability to use the other thing, but... Alright. Did that kill. Heal back some of that damage we took. I don't love the second Distill Elements. We're not Stealth Elementing enough, but I need the mana. That's very good. We'll take that. That should help. Okay, so we do get all of the pieces here again for this. So that's going to give us potentially up to 6 mana. So we play this, we go down to 3, we play that, we go up to 9. It's not enough to do everything we want. Or we play it now, we go to 10, and that's not quite enough. It's unfortunate. I think, so this functionally costs us 1 mana, so we'll just go ahead and do it. And then, and that helps next turn if we draw the other thing. I think we are just going to do this because we can do a pretty good amount of damage here by copying it. And that'll just also give us a lot of growth. Especially because we have Adept this turn. Okay. So yeah, that got us enough growth that we're gaining 8 mana this turn, start turn. with the mana boost. This guy's a jerk. This is one place where that is useful. Okay, so this is going to detonate the other evasion stack for us. Yeah, I do like the scatter beam a decent bit, I think. This is a tough choice. We need one of these two. Frozen Rift is so good, it's impossible to pass up, I think. I'm trying to think what I'm going to cut. Probably the Unstable Bolt goes. Because, like, it's fine when it's on, but it's just so bad when it's not. I don't think it does enough when it's on to justify the fact that it is so bad otherwise. I think we are, again, going to just Nova a bunch because it's very fun. Yes, I think we'll actually kill the front two because of 15 damage because... Oh no! Only the back one's frozen. I'm not paying attention. Whatever. We still get a good amount of damage. Oh right! It's just very slow to resolve them because we played a whole bunch right all at once. And that is a very slow thing to resolve. Kill? Okay. Arcane Visions is expensive. I don't know that we can afford it. It's very good, but I don't think we can afford it. I think we just have to take the Icy Chains. So from the boss, we don't really want either of those, unfortunately. I think we're saving our reroll for Shocking Grasp. Okay. So this works out pretty well. Not sure what we're going to end up doubling here. We may end up doubling... I probably should have doubled just the... oh, I didn't draw it yet. It's this. That's the thing I might double. And again, yeah, like the other thing with Mana Bolt is like, or Unstable Bolt is like, it uses up one of your mana boost, so it kind of generates one mana, but at the same time, unless you're stacking extra mana boost, and as we've established, this is the only source of mana boost in the entire deck, which means that it's very likely that, especially later on, once you have a larger deck, that this is just not going. You're not going to be able to line these up, and at that point, you are effectively wasting that. You are, all you're doing is 5 damage for 1 mana. And that's just not very exciting. Okay, squeak you. Alright, I think we want to Spyglass this. It doesn't really matter what we copy here. I don't know that actually it's worth DupliToming that. I don't know why I did that. So this isn't actually going to get us that far. I guess that the advantage is that now we are at it for the rest of the fight, but I don't know how valuable that is. But yeah, let's see, that is enough. Yeah, these boss fights are going to be pretty tricky because we are fairly reliant on getting those freezes out. I suppose this is that's where this shines. Yeah, I guess that's what Fierce is for. No, the random chance has betrayed us. Okay, we only take 4 though, so we should possibly be able to finish this out here, depending on what we draw. I don't think this is lethal with the electrocute, but I suppose that if it isn't, okay, it was just barely. I was gonna say then if we do draw anything else that would do damage, it would be fine. I think we may need the Aether Storm. Okay, Tormenting Gloves is very good. That'll help the run a lot. As far as upgrades go, it's probably Frozen Rift, although we may not need Frozen Rift Plus here. Sorry, I just got a text and I'm thinking about whether I want to mess with that right now. It may just be Aether Storm Plus because that's just pretty good, but we don't have a ton that combos with it. Yeah, like that upgrade is fine, but I don't like investing in it. It goes to 22. That's actually pretty good. Especially with the Tormenting Gloves, that seems worthwhile. Yeah, that seems fine. And then we're going to cut the Unstable Bolt, because yeah, I'm not a fan. Okay, and this makes the Shocking Grasp just outstanding. Tormenting Gloves is just ridiculous. I do like upgrading this, because that just makes it so much more stuff. Gain even more power. Fight the more dangerous ones. And this is where doubling the Arcane Nova probably just wins us the fight. Alright, let's... Dink. Alright. I've not been paying enough attention. I do not know who our boss is this run. Okay, that's very good, obviously. And we have Adept, so we can actually get mana out of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to freeze you. And that means that this will Arcane Blast this one twice. Oh right, I keep forgetting about... It always takes me several fights after getting Tormenting Gloves to remember that it exists. But yeah, so now yeah, there's the Arcane Nova. This, I think, just playing it once kills everything. Yeah. Arcane Aegis is very good. I don't think we can support Mana Bolt right now. And again, like, Arcane Aegis goes very well with the Tormenting Gloves. Let's see. I should have done that to get the extra growth so that I could... Oh, that's fine. That works out. Yeah. Yeah, Tormenting Gloves fixes a lot of our mana problems too, which is very nice. It's very polite of it. Okay, so I want Adept, so we're going to do that. Okay, so the way that this is going to work out, we're going to start with this, and then we're going to DupliTome these two. So this will freeze the back one, and kill the front one, and then this will just be lethal. Okay. Reroll, take the Shocking Grasp. This is very good. The other two don't do a ton for us. Okay. Spyglass that. I would love to have gotten this out, but we just can't afford it. And again, like, this is where these Distill Elements are liability, where it's like we don't have that many ways to set them up. So we aren't getting enough value out of these Distill Elements to justify... Like, the cards that we're getting with the Distill Elements are not good enough, I think, to justify the load that running the Distill Elements places on the deck. Because, like, if these were just, like, focuses or whatever, we could still run... like, Mana Jolt isn't going to shock us, probably, if that's our only mana boost source, if that's, like, our only self-shock source. So, unfortunately, we can't quite kill that front one or the back one. That'll do it, though. Okay. And then Icy Concentration is very good. Alright. Probably reroll and take the Brave Design. Still have... No, we spent a reroll. I don't think we have another one. Yeah, this is a fight where we would love to have Sanctuary. Let's... Okay, so we're going to evade that. Let's freeze you. And just get out some AoE hits. We may cut the Scattered Beam. It's not the most exciting thing. Okay, get that Adept out. So that'll pay for itself and then some. Okay, we can get a freeze with that. And then with that, which means that then we can do this, which will Arcane Blast them a couple times. Actually, kind of like doing this. It's not quite as much as our Nova, but it is absolutely still doing good work. DupliTome that and that. Because this will freeze that back one and kill the front ones. And at that point, we have lethal. Okay. Yeah, we do still have a reroll, so we are absolutely taking this to Brave Designs. No, we need the Sanctity because it's our only cleanse. And we might potentially need that if we stop being able to permafreeze things, which could very well happen. All of these are fine, but not excellent. Or rather, this one is between these two, basically. I don't think we're going to have any exhaustion cards. The artifact energy gains, like, we have enough other item rolls. The starting mighty is whatever. I think the thing is, like, we are very likely to replace the starting mighty before the end of the run. And the battery pack, if we're going to be taking something we're planning to just, like, replace later, the battery pack is a better pickup for that. So for upgrades here, I think the Aether Storm is probably getting cut at some point. I don't want to do an upgrade then. I like Striking Grasp Plus with the Tormenting Gloves, just gives us a ton of value. We don't really need the Electrocute either, but it kind of pays for itself right now. I think the Scattered Beam is kind of iffy. And it's kind of expensive. Okay, so from these, I think Elemental Conjunction is the thing we want. I would like to get a Mystic Ritual since we do have the Distill Elements. And it's like the one card I think that really justifies them. Okay, get Adept. And then just do this again. The detonations will continue until morale improves. Copy these two. Freeze you. Alright. Yeah, the Tormenting Gloves are just ridiculous. They just enable so many shenanigans. Surprise attack is pretty good. I kind of want the Cornered Focus just to shore up our mana. That might let us cut one of the Distill Elements, which I would like to do. Or maybe not. Our mana is going to be pretty tight, especially after we pick up this Mystic Ritual. And again, like, here we are with this Distill Elements that is, like, effectively negative mana. Because if we use Glacial Bulwark, we're still down 2. And we don't need that Glacial Bulwark, so we don't really want to play it. Which is kind of a problem. Because, yeah, that's the thing. Like, we rarely have been in a position where we need this Glacial Bulwark. But without it, we can't play the Distill Elements. Or we can't get full value out of the Distill Elements. I'd much rather have a Frozen Hide. Because it's at least 1 mana to play, so it's at least still mana positive. Alright, we're going to do this detonation here. So we can get whatever value. And yeah, like, I mean, I guess that it works with the other Distill Elements if we draw that next turn. Okay. This will dance again. Yeah, we just have ridiculous items, and so that is making this run patently unfair. And we got Frozen Rift just immediately, and Frozen Rift is very good. Pop, pop, pop. Things die. That's not what we were looking for. We might still take it. I think we have enough stuff that keys off of Arcane for the moment. Although, like, with the Tormenting Gloves, that's still a very good pick. I just am looking to offload these Distill Elements and this Glacial Bulwark, and so that's the pick that lets us do that. All right, and we are loading off on this one. Then we get that for value. Because again, if we draw another Distill Elements here, that's how we get value out of it. We have Adept back. Okay, so this will not freeze. Okay, that will freeze that one now, which is good because we need to. Because this is the one that has Arcane Rune. This one doesn't, because we did stuff. Eloquence. All right. Do that. Okay, and we can Spyglass this, and we're off to the races. Didn't even need the copies. Okay, Mystic Ritual is great. Love to see it. Cleanse ourselves twice, we don't really care. The Shifting Feather could help clean up if we have some awkward first turns. Alright, so let's draw some cards. Yeah, Glacial Bulwark is still a disappointment. I'm considering duplitoming the Frozen or copying this. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then we can copy these two. Because this is going to shock, which means that now we get 20 damage arcane detonations. Which seems pretty good, I think. Goodbye. Unleash isn't bad. I kind of want the... I'm torn between these two. This would be a replacement for Aether Storm as a way to just like... But I don't know that we need the AoE damage is the thing. Because we do have like so much AoE damage out of the Arcane Nova. I think we take the Arcane Visions. Let's freeze you out turn 1. Because freezing is the thing we can do. And then we just get out a bunch of shock. And Glacial Bulwark is going to go, I think. Yeah, that's our least valuable card right now. If I haven't complained about it enough yet. Draw some cards. We need to get this freeze off, which we can do. That will get us there. Alright. And it's still shocked. So Arcane Nova first. DupliTome on these two. Yeah, this is where like Pierce is relatively weak at this point just because like we're winning fights so quickly that it doesn't end up mattering. This is 8x4, that's 32, so they're the same amount of damage. Just go with that. Save the mana. Oh, I should have used Hammer on it. Okay, that could shock us, so we don't want to use it. Pop. Okay, so here's this, which will detonate us, but that may still be worth it. Oh, we can do this, duh. Right, now we're clear to do that amount. Is that freeze? No. But it gets us closer. So yeah, we are going to get detonated here, but we don't really care. We get shocked, but hopefully we can get this killed, or we can either kill or freeze this turn, which would mean that we won't care. I have to care. Yeah, we can do that, I think, for maximum value. Phase Grace may also go. Phase Grace may actually be worse than the Glacial Bulwark because it conflicts with the whatchamacallit. I don't think we actually went Elemental Strike. We're not hitting enough times. I don't think we went the Blood Visions either. This does nothing for us. This does nothing for us. Nothing for us. Discard. I guess the Elemental Strike technically works with the Aether Storm, but that's the only thing it does work with, and I don't think it's worth lining that up. Arcane Visions Plus is very good. That may be our upgrade. And yeah, I think the Phase Grace is actually the one that we cut because it doesn't play nice with Mystic Ritual. Okay, Ruby Dragon. I'm not too concerned about which dragon it is because I think it's going to play out roughly the same regardless. I don't think I want to use up my Electrocute here. So we're just going to do that. Oh, we don't have... That's only going to trigger... We won't have its mana. Just have to do that. Once again, these Distill Elements are coming back to bite. Fortunately, we don't take any actual damage here. Trying to think through a mana. So this puts us to 4 mana after we get the mana back from the detonation. And then... So the chilling card, the important things we would be able to Arcane Nova afterwards. And this is basically free. So we're going to do that first. So that we can get the copy out. And then we want to do this next so that we can get the adapt. Oh, I should have frozen rifted after this so that I could get the extra damage on the detonation. That was dumb. Like, it's going to be fine, but probably want to actually win this fight, and we could have, or win this turn, and we probably could have. Right, that helps. Because that's going to get us a little bit of extra damage. Just add more frost to you. And yeah, that just doesn't do enough damage to really be worth much. Yeah, the Pierce probably needs to go. Well, it did help against the boss, and it may help on later bosses, so maybe it can stay for now. Donk you. Okay. Shocks on you. Play that. Why not? Doesn't want to do anything one way or the other. Bite. Alright, we need a little bit more damage than that. Bite. Okay. Do we need a second Arcane Nova? I mean, we do more than we need a Distill Elements. We may just cut that Arcane Nova immediately. This seems very good, considering that Arcane Nova just blows through it. What's the other options? Yeah, that's absolutely the take. And I think we cut... Well, is that... No. I think the Pierce... I think Glacial Bulwark is worse. I could also see cutting one of the Distill Elements here. Actually... I think it's the Aether Storm, because it eats up our shock stacks. Okay. Trying to think through how much mana we have. Okay. So... Yeah, I think I'm still DupliToming this, or still doing the copy thing, because the thing is I can't use, because there's a full set of enemies, I can't use this yet. We are evading all incoming, so yeah, we can afford to spend that. And so now we get these 15 damage detonations on more enemies, which is nice. So at this point we could use this, but I don't think we need it. And because we're just evading this turn anyway. No. Which means we get 15 damage on that detonation. And there's the kill. Okay. I think at this point I would take Surprise Attack. Gathering Volt is still fine, but I want the ability to play vulnerable. Okay, Mana Jolt. If we do want to get a freeze out on one of them. I think we do actually Haunted Flask as well. Okay, so if we can draw both of the Distill Elements, now that's mana positive. And we can just generate a lot of mana that way too. Okay. And this is not the big Arcane Nova, so I don't think we double that one. But yeah. Okay. That's going to do 34, so it's just not quite lethal. That's kind of frustrating. So close to killing. So kind of my... and once again, like, off by so little. Oh, but if it's frozen, it'll take extra damage, so... I'm actually lethal, yeah, because of the Raodan passive. Oh, we're going to do that first. Because my thought here is like I want to get these off on these eggs. Because I ideally want to avoid having to actually have the eggs hatch. And sure enough, there we go. Do we have any spells left? Only the Ice Blast and Pierce. Makes the Scrying Blast kind of suspect. We'll just take the Icy Concentration. Kind of all in on this plan we've got going. I think the Pierce can go at this point. I think we can win without it. And just kind of not where the deck is at right now. Which is in part just because like Tormenting Focus is still so good. Tormenting Gloves rather. Words are hard. Let's see. So we want to get this freeze off this turn, which we can do. It's just a matter of whether we end up using this for it. I think we do. Okay. That would give us more adept, but that works. This is not lethal. I used up our only whatever stack. Okay. It only puts one more shock stack on there, but I think that's still fine. Okay, that's very good. Just means we get even more arcane there. I kind of want to save this until the drakes are out, or save this until the drakes are out, so that we just don't have to deal with those. I do think we hammer this arcane nova though. It's kind of just what we are relying on as our damage output, which we may end up regretting. We'll see. That evasion is nice. That's gonna freeze. Alright. Now we get our shield back. Apply some weak. Alright. Frost count required is ticking up. Yeah, 24 is just not going to be enough. But we can at least get enough shield to block it. Oh, they were going to burn these evades here, unfortunately. That's fine. Okay. So this will freeze. I don't think we have the detonation here yet. Oh, that wasn't enough shock. For some reason I keep thinking, I'm used to playing like Paladin, where we'll have just tons of stacked bonuses, and right now our only, because we can't keep Adept up consistently, which is something I didn't really properly factor into consideration. So, we need to do one more little bit of damage here to get this to tick off. So that's not going to do it. So I think we are going to do this, because that'll hatch the drakes. And then now we can DupliTome those two. And now we can get this freeze off. Let's go ahead and freeze you. Should have actually frozen that one, because we don't care about this damage incoming. But yeah, this is obviously where like cutting the Pierce is maybe a mistake, but it hasn't killed us so far, so. Really, this is where like Mind Blast would be the pickup. I'm kind of surprised this deck list doesn't have Mind Blast in it. Because this would be Mind Blast this time. I don't know why I didn't shock one of the front ones. This thing has plenty of shock on it already. Let's prevent ourselves from getting any more burn than we have to. Because we ideally do not want this burn to stack up too high. Yeah, so this is upticking, but it's not upticking fast enough. I think we need to upgrade the icy chains maybe for dealing with bosses. Yeah, this is where like Sanctuary would be amazing. Because Sanctuary would allow us to cleanse off some of this burn. So we're not stuck relying on that one thing. Vulnerable will give us enough to do that. We want to make sure that happens. That will shock. This will freeze. That will also freeze. Super drop. Okay. Now we distill. Yeah, pretty sketchy fight here. Like I said, I would love to have like... Mystical Bloom's pretty good. It's a way to stack further for long term. Ironwall Ring's not bad. Windwalker Coat is actually reasonable. Is Windwalker Coat... So Windwalker Coat makes Baelator a better fight. But I think Baelator's the... Oh, and it makes Snails a better fight. I don't think that's quite worth it. I think Ironwall Ring is a little bit better for super long fights. And I think Mystical Bloom is the upgrade here. I think we keep the Ice Blast. I think the Electrocute can go because we have the Shocking Grasp Plus. It's not bad, but I don't think we need it. Okay, we are fighting Maw, which means that we need to fight Protectors so we can get more cleanse. We can only fight one, it looks like, which is... We can either fight this one or that one, but going through here lets us get Gamble or Faunt. I don't think we can afford Gamble, but I'm always up for Faunt. Even into Maw. Even as risky as that seems. I'd love to get a Purging Waters here if I could get it. Okay, let's draw some cards. Let's do that. And that will pop you a couple times and which prevents the powerful from getting set up from the snail, which is nice. Okay. So the nice thing about Mystical Bloom is that, unlike Sorcerer's Secretion, which only ticks up for things that happen to it, Mystical Bloom will tick up for anything that happens to, for any growth we get, which includes, obviously, all of that. Which is very good. Okay. I think we now... I think we just do that. Spyglass this. But now we're gonna DupliTome the Mystical Bloom, which is gonna be very good for us. Because that means that everything else we play will give us 2 growth. In addition, of course, all the growth that we get just from popping things over and over again. Should get this out when I get the chance just to get the shield, even though that's not actually gonna matter. I suppose we could keep a little bit of it because we get a little bit extra from the ring. Yeah, these are doing 88, which is just a completely reasonable amount, I think. And we get these great 20 damage explosions. And every detonation is worth 2 growth. So next time we draw it, it'll be even better. And the other nice thing is we drew it before we looped our deck, which is great. Oh, and we got rid of all the... Yeah, here this is again. Yeah, it's doing 112. Bonk. So... Okay. So I don't think we want to play this. Because I don't think we want to crack that right now. I think we would rather crack it when we have access to mana. And that is unfortunately not going to crack. Oh, or we already had it? I guess we must have been. Okay, so that'll now crack. And now we get to Rift, which will also have the benefit of taking away those frenzy stacks for us. Makes life just a little bit easier. And then this will just give us several detonations. Unfortunately, we don't have shock on it because we only have the one shock card in the deck, but still not bad. And yeah, that's kind of like what Mind Blast would do for us. That's why I want Mind Blast over the Sorcerer's Secretion, I think. Yeah, like I said, I don't like to distill elements. I do think that like just setting up Mystical Ritual is very good and possibly does justify it on its own. The fight's obviously now much slower now that we're to this point of the run. Icy Orb is okay. Maybe another way to get Frost out. I think we just take Last Resort because we are absolutely swimming in mana once we get late in a fight. Okay, Haunted Flask is fine. That's pretty good. Okay. Play that. Then we are going to DupliTome these two. Freeze everything. I love just the waiting on the detonations to just all go off. Okay. Just nothing but detonations forever. Let's see. I think we can get you without even needing that. We can get you without even needing to spend shot. Whatchamacallit? Because that'll kill. So the ideal would be for this to be the lethal thing on that. I think we'll hammer this. I don't think it'll kill that one, but so this does kill that one because that'll just be straight up bang bang bang. Sorry, bang 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 bang, and there we go. Clean fights. I don't know that we can consistently trip Aether Blast, and like Arcane Nova just keeps being a banger of a card. We probably end up cutting one of the Arcane Novas, but you know, it's hard to be too sad about it. Sure. Poison's Grimoire technically has some very marginal value in helping us potentially pop. See, this Purity is really annoying because it is. Okay, so we can draw a few more cards. So our plan is to use this Arcane Nova to break the Purity here. I don't think we use... Actually, we do. I absolutely sequenced that wrong, but... This whole dance is coming out again. You have to wait for the DupliTome so that I make sure that I'm holding the copy when... Whatever happens when we... Sorry, so that I make sure I'm holding the copy when this resolves, just to make sure that sequencing works in our favor. So yeah, that one gets detonated first, then everything freezes. And things are just going to start exploding. We'll end our turn, and the enemy will take their turn eventually. Just kidding, they won't, because they're all frozen, but it's the principle of the thing. And here, just one more. I think that's the last round. Okay. Our turn again. Let's see. I don't know why you would want to get a turn again. That doesn't seem like something that we would want you to do. So let's just detonate everything again. So yeah, like, this deck is absolutely working. And And like it obviously has worked for Chris a bunch, but I absolutely feel like it is kind of working in spite of itself rather than because of what it does in a lot of ways. Just because like you can see here, I actively cut out a lot of the cruft in the deck to just focus it down on what I feel is the most important thing that Raodan does, which is the frost and the arcane. Like obviously without Tormenting Gloves you can't go quite this hard, but I've done a lot of runs where I've done a lot of similar stuff without it. Clear focus is great. That will help make the Maw fight a little bit easier. It means that we don't have to worry too much about letting Maw get a turn. Right, that's great to set up. And I think this is still first, so that we can then... Oh, let's do that first, actually. Because, yeah. Bonky bonk. And then, now we DupliTome. I think still these two. Well, yeah. Well, No, I don't actually think we need the second Frozen Rift. Just so much. Because the thing is, like, it's not even as much about the growth from the Mystical Bloom copy as it is about the fact that it is a huge, huge source of... oh, that's not actually going to trip. It's a huge source of arcane. So this will pop you 3 times. 3 more times. And yeah, so we got rid of all of the fortress too, which is fun. Very convenient. Love that for us. Let me just hammer one of these Novas. Pop and pop. And pop. And pop. Doesn't actually do anything. There's no point in playing that. We may... I don't know, I'm throwing on the surprise attack. Like, if we draw it at the end of turn like that, it is useless. But if we draw it earlier, it can do good work. Okay. Does this lethal? It's not frozen, so we won't get that bonus. So 75 plus 96. 75 is 5 detonations. 96 is 7 detonations. Yeah, we don't have that many detonations here. I'd absolutely take a full take frost if it was offered. I think that seems worthwhile. It's kind of an awkward hand. So, but this will detonate and then we can just freeze. Which means that even though that's so much frost that it's just going to be frozen immediately again. Actually works out perfectly. Should have done that first just in case it drew us into exactly surprise attack. Alright, and we get so many detonations. They're all delicious 20 damage detonations. We're actually going to... the Poisonous Grimoire is why we are going to kill this turn. Poisonous Grimoire picks up a victim. We may try this. We'll try it. I'm not sold, but we'll see what happens. Tell you what, Sorceress Creation. If you don't do good work for us this fight, you're getting cut. Fortunately, with Punch Blast is not very great in this particular fight. Okay. Now I'll play that for the Distill. Just in case it happens to matter. Although, again, kind of sketchy to even do that. Okay, that is not enough frost to freeze either of them. Oh no, it is. Oh, it's because of the vulnerable. That's what I didn't take into account. I could copy those, but I don't think I want to just yet. Yeah, watch. We're going to draw the sorcerer's secretion off of this. Actually, that's a pretty high chance of happening. And that seems pretty bad. So, weirdly enough, we are not going to play the last resort, even though we had a ton of mana, just because I want to make sure that we get... Okay, we would have actually drawn these two, which would have been fine, but we had no way to know that. Yeah, this is just a pretty bad turn for that. But I mean, that's what's going to happen with Sorcerer's Secretion sometimes. That's like this is... It both is and isn't the fault of that card that we drew it on a bad turn. Because, you know, I prefer cards where I am not... Where there aren't turns where it's just like, oh, well, this card just... We just drew it on the wrong turn, so it just doesn't do anything. It's not really what I'm looking for, usually. Out of my win... Especially not out of my win conditions. We don't have any healing, so we can't really play the triple safely. Like, it's not the end of the world if we do, but... Alright, that'll deal with that. Okay, this is a little bit better for it. I'll clean off that tough, so we don't have to deal with it. We can't get this frozen out, unfortunately. Okay, at this point, I think I will do that. My reasoning is kind of that now we get Sorcerer's Secretion value out of it. Oh, we do have to play a card to make space in hand. Oh, we are going to have to play that if we're going to use Last Resort. DupliTome these two. Frozen. Alright, so close to that freeze. Now we can do that. I should try to kill this first so that I can potentially get whatever off. So I guess that's just not in the cards. So how much is that up to? 64 damage? 93 on that? Oh, I suppose that it needs an upgrade to get full scaling on it still. There we go. It's dead. We draw some cards. Probably I didn't need to use the whatchamacallit, and we could have just won that turn if I hadn't summoned the Dorkum. I really thought I had the Dorkum dead on just AoE damage. I said I'm always up for Corrupted Font, but I don't know that that's true in this particular instance. Blood Vision seems pretty bad with the cards we have. Like it draws the Ice Blast and the and Sorcerer's Secretion. I don't think that's enough. I don't think we need the Corrupted Font. We have enough mana already. We don't really need any of these. What are we saving the reroll for? Nothing? In that case, we'll just go ahead and reroll. Yeah, I'll take Singularity. I don't think we need any of this. No, that's a little bit better than the Poison Grimoire. As far as upgrades go, I think we can cut the Sorcerer's Secretion because we have the Singularity. I think that's going to just do the same job for us. Although, if we upgrade it, it's counting up faster. Is that enough to justify? Oh, this upgrade I think is what we take. That upgrade seems very good. And then we just got the Sorcerer's Accretion, which I do not think we need. We also probably don't need 3 Arcane Novas, but I like my Arcane Novas, so yeah. Speaking of... Haha, Arcane Nova goes for... Well, let's see what we draw out of this first. I think we can actually play that twice because we get so much bonus mana out of those. we have another one queued up? Yeah. Doesn't quite kill the front one. But yeah, we do indeed have enough mana to just go whomp. Oh man, got that critical. And then we get some turbo overkill. End the turn. Pop. We might need this against Maw. I think we need it more than we need the surprise attack. I will probably cut one of the Arcanovas while resting, because I don't think we need 3 of them against Maw. So I think we're going to freeze you. Detonate you. For value. Oh, that actually leaves us 1 mana short. That's unfortunate. Wasn't thinking. Just do that. Bonk. That's awkward, but it's fine. Take away some of those. This is going to freeze the front one. That's also going to... Actually, we're going to do this first, so that then this will detonate the front one to death. And we can just continue detonating these guys. The one downside to what I did there is, like, we now no longer have the evasions, which we might need against these guys next turn. Although, there's a chance that we just end up not having whatever next turn anyway. Okay. Draw some extra cards. So close. Guess that means I just sequence wrong. And pop. And pop. And pop. And pop. Okay, now you can take damage. Alright, that worked out pretty nicely. And yeah, these guys are a problem. But that helps a ton. And we are actually going to have just enough frost on this. Okay, that is not enough to freeze. But it will be enough to freeze the thing that pops out. And now we have enough cards in hand for that. Hammer that. And we can take away the frenzy. Okay. I wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to hatch before I close that one. So yeah, this one's attacking this turn. I think now's a good time to do this. And then we just DupliTome these two. Which isn't the most useful thing, but at this point I think that if I didn't do that then I would just kind of not get around to it. So this way I have detonated off almost everything that needs to go. Okay. Do that. Which means you can freeze. I should have done that first. And we get 10 consecutive arcane detonations. freeze. And get another detonate out. I should have used the Visions of Frost so I could get detonations out of the Frozen Rift. Just playing too quick. Like, again, it's not going to matter. We're going to win, but... this is back. That seems okay, but it eats our power... Or, this is a way to get powerful. I don't know that we need it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. If we end up taking a long fight, this could be good. And I think Sorcerer's Secretion is better. We may actually keep that one. As far as upgrades go, getting more Adept and Mighty is pretty good. Although that upgrade, giving that vulnerable for the second turn, I think is very important. We don't need that. This is very good, though. Although it doesn't do anything until whatever. This means we don't... So this one gives us Persecute, which is pretty good. But this one means we don't have to deal with Predator, which I think is the tiebreaker for me. Okay, we're going to do a Haunted Flask first, so we can get full cornered focus value. Shocking Grasp. I should have actually copied that. Detonations come out. Things die. We duplicate those two, as always. Let's go ahead and get a Frost out first, just so that we can get extra Arcane detonations. That is a lot of damage. Yeah, this is one of those runs though where I did get ridiculous item luck, so like, not really a fair comparison necessarily to other runs, but yeah, again, like just drawing this at the wrong time. Yeah, it's not lethal. I suppose I could have used that. I should probably be hammering the accretion. That's probably what I'll do in the final fight. I think I keep it and then I just hammer it. That is lethal. Just enough. Pop, pop. One more fight. I think I like that we'll take Frost. I think that's going to be... Although, the chains probably would have also been good. Sure, Mighty going in. No, we will cut one of the Arcane Novas. They are worse when we are fighting this many enemy. When we're fighting just one enemy. I think I changed my mind on the Icy Orb. I think Double Take Frost is going to do enough work for us. But we'll see. I may end up regretting that. Let's see, what else is on the chopping block? Is it finally time for Glacial Bulwark to go? I think it's finally time for Glacial Bulwark to go. Sure, we'll take more Adept energy. Oh, starting Adept. That's actually way better than the starting Evasion at this point, because starting Evasion in the Moth fight just doesn't do that much. What else is on the... What else can go? Can anything else go away? We probably don't need 2 Distill Elements. And we can cut one of them. We may end up detonating ourselves once, but I think that's fine. And then, hey, we get to go in with stuff. Kind of what I was looking for. Alright. We get this at the starting hand, which is nice. Do that. So this is what like the Distill Elements is literally just for the Arcane from that. Oh, I said I was gonna hammer this. And I should. Do I copy this yet? I actually don't hate that. Just because we have both of our scaling things in hand. I think we probably have to copy that. Well, do we? No, because we should get enough growth here. Actually, we don't even need more growth. We just get freeze from the vulnerable. It's kind of... Okay. And then we can get that off. So this is already up to 115 damage, so that's a lot better. Although, like, it's not singularity damage, but... most doesn't cost singularity mana to play. So... appreciate that these just straight up... just the amount of damage from those. That was a pretty good turn one. I did use up our shock, and our shock is over here, which is a little unfortunate. But... oh, we have the mana jolt. That is, I guess, our other way to get self-status. My brain just blinked on it briefly. Yeah, last resort is a little bit awkward because it forces us to play that out. Okay, this is a net positive on mana gain. Yeah, we can play this and this. Alright, yeah. Picking up the Sorcerer's Secretion did end up paying off with the upgrade. Because, yeah, we can find it again, we'll be in good shape. That's not going to freeze, but that will. And then we are now just the Sorcerer's Secretion waiting room. I think we've kept frozen the entire fight. We're close to it. Yeah, so that is not quite lethal. Oh, blew ourselves up on accident. So if we got the crit, which we didn't. Oh, because we don't have access to critical right now because we just didn't have the surprise stack out. Okay, so Maul got a turn. But just the one. And we have our choice of kills. We'll go ahead and take the 158 out of the Sorcerer's Secretion. Let me get that screenshot real quick. And yeah, get the kill. So yeah, that is this deck. Like I said, a lot of things I would change. There are a lot of cards that it felt like I was working around because I didn't want them. But some of the core stuff is good. The fact that you do have, obviously, Mystical Bloom is good. Arcane Nova is good. Arcane Visions is solid. I really would have liked to Meditate to more consistently have Adept up. I would have liked Arcane Silence as an option to have in case I didn't get lucky on finding the Arcane Novas. Obviously, Striking Grasp is not a card you can put in your card pool. But I would think I would rather have like an Overcharge or a Shocking Aura instead of the whatever one. I would rather have Shocking Aura over as your shock source for Distill Elements if you're going to keep going with Distill Elements instead of Mana Jolt. I don't like Unstable Volt at all for the reasons I discussed. Anyway, so yeah, that is the run. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, toodles.